Bruce Arians says that, quote, I don't know why anyone criticizes Tom Brady. Why are they criticizing Tom Brady? What he did at the end of the half and to start the second half against Minnesota, very, very few teams can score 17 points in a matter of 5 or 6 minutes. If we finish the half with 17 points, I don't care how we start. He's not getting enough credit for what he's doing. I agree. I agree with Coach. And I don't think Coach has ever really been anti-Brady. I know the reports have come out that he didn't want Antonio Brown, and that was Brady's call, and he wants no risk it, no biscuit, shots down the field, and Brady wants to dink and dunk. And maybe there's some power struggle. And Arians has criticized Brady a couple times in the press, once even took it back. It turns out it wasn't Brady's fault when he did blame Brady after week 1. But I've also pointed out every time Arians has pushed a button, it's worked. He criticized Brady, Brady responded. He defended Brady when Brady forgot how many downs there were in the game. It was the end of the game. And lied for Brady, and Brady responded. He was critical of Brady again, and Brady responded. Every time he's pushed a button, he's gotten the right response from Brady and the team. Now, why does Brady not deserve the criticism? Is Brady playing like an MVP? No. And I made the cliff prediction famously in 2016 in the summer. I came out and said Brady has 18 more months on the outside, meaning 2016 and the 2017 season. And then he's going to fall off a cliff. I said he'll be a bum in short order. The next day I came out and apologized. I said, look, I don't want to call him a bum. I don't want to name call. I just mean he's going to be a jag, just a guy. He won't be elite anymore. He might still play in the NFL, but not at an elite level. Now, it turns out Brady beat the prediction by a year. He, in rest of 2016, he was great. 2017, he was great. And 2018, he was great. But in 2019, he wasn't. And by the way, in 2018, was he still great? They won the Super Bowl. It was the lowest scoring Super Bowl of all time. And he really rode the defense in the running game, but still he was excellent. I wouldn't say he was one of the 2 or 3 best players in football, but he was excellent. So it was more of a ravine than a cliff. Kind of he was declining, but not just like flying high like Brett Favre and Peyton Manning did and then just straight down, right? He's the MVP. He can do this till he's 50, and then all of a sudden they're not in the league. It wasn't that. It was more of a decline. It may even be considered a steep decline, but it wasn't falling off a cliff. He went from 2016 and 17 elite, 2018 still really good, 2019 last year with the Patriots. He was league average, maybe a tick above, maybe, because I'll give him name brand recognition. But the main thing is his team won 12 games, and I'm for that. Like, I believe in team record for quarterbacks. I think it means something. Just like wins for pitchers in this era doesn't mean so much, but once upon a time, wins were pretty well correlated with the quality of a pitcher. Remember in 1980, Steve Stone on the Orioles won 25 games. I think he won the Cy Young. He shouldn't have that year. And he wasn't as good as even guys on his own staff. So it could be misleading, but he was a quality pitcher. If you won a lot of games, it meant you were pretty good. When pitchers pitch deep into games, and quarterbacks play the whole game, and they have the biggest influence on the outcome of any player. And other than the coach, they're the most important person in the franchise. And if you notice, great quarterbacks almost always have good won-loss records. So why is that, right? And certainly great quarterback-coach combinations are almost always winning teams. So the fact that Brady won 12 games last year was big for me, but the fact is when you watched him play, a lot of dinking and dunking, and when he had to beat Miami last game of the season to get a bye in the first round, he couldn't. And when they had to beat Tennessee in the first round, they couldn't, right? And that has to do with quarterback play. He was missing receivers, short, long, left, right, every way you could miss a receiver. And I was told it's because he didn't have any weapons on his team. Okay, that obviously affects you if your receivers aren't great. But the Bucs receivers are great. And going to the Bucs, everyone knew Brady should look better than he did the year before on a bad offensive team. Even if he was in decline, that would be offset and then some by a superior team. And guess what Las Vegas said? Vegas pegged the odds, the over-under for wins at 9.5, which is exactly where I thought, intuitively. Like, as soon as I heard, 9. Like, in other words, if you took the under, you thought the Bucs would win 9 games. If you took the over, you thought 10. And a lot of people said 11 or 12. Oh, my God, they're going to win the Super Bowl. The Bucs are on pace to win 10 or 11 games. Right? They're on pace to do 8-5. They're on pace to get the over. Not by the crazy, starry-eyed fans' point of view or the overzealous members of the media, but by sober analysis before the season. Like the odds makers whose job depends on setting the right line, and the public who bet it, right? The wisdom of crowds, where if everyone shares public information and also has some private information, who is this, Sirawicki, the wisdom of crowds, in response to the madness of crowds? That group will always outperform the smartest member of the group in terms of predictions. It's why the stock market works. It's why the line is so hard to beat in the NFL, the spread, because it reflects the wisdom of crowds. But that line is set by the odds maker, and he don't want that line moving too much. Sober analysis said, if you like the over, 10 wins. If you're really high on them, maybe 11. And that's where they're headed. So why is Brady getting criticized? I'll tell you why. Because of the starry-eyed fans and boosters in the media who were like, they're going to win 12-plus games in the Super Bowl. Who, you really thought that? You're overrating Tom Brady to start the season, so now you're underrating him at this point. But if you actually knew how to rate him, like me, boy, that takes a lot of nerve, doesn't it, Raj? If you really knew how to rate Tom Brady, then you're impressed right now. Father Time is undefeated. The one dude I once saw almost fight him to a draw was Bernard Hopkins, great middleweight champ, light heavyweight champ. And Bernard was beating world-class fighters when he was 49 years old. But when he turned 50, Joe Smith knocked him clean out the ring. KO.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.